You may
What if one?
you may not have a communication problem. You may have a values problem. And those two things, they can look almost identical from inside a relationship. Let me explain. If I tell you that something you did hurt me and you immediately defend yourself, we might assume we need better communication skills, and sometimes we do. But what if underneath that conversation is actually something much deeper? What if I value accountability and you value being right? What if I value repair and you value getting past things quickly? What if I value emotional intimacy and you value independence? What if I believe commitment means that we turn toward difficult conversations and you believe commitment means we shouldn't have this many difficult conversations in the first place? Now, we can learn every communication tool on the planet and still keep ending up in the same damn fight, because communication isn't creating the conflict, it's revealing it. And here's where this gets sometimes a little uncomfortable. I mean, a lot of people don't actually know what their values are. They know what they say they value. Almost everybody says they value honesty and loyalty, family, respect, and communication. But your values aren't just what you say matters to you. Your values they're revealed by what you consistently protect when something costs you. So like you can say you value honesty, but what happens when telling the truth might disappoint your partner? You can say you value accountability, but what happens when accountability threatens the way that you see yourself? You say you value connection, but what happens when connection requires you to stay present with someone else's pain instead of escaping in some way your own discomfort? You say you value relationship, but when you're hurt, do you protect the relationship or do you protect your need to win? Like that's where actual values, they start kind of arising and showing up. And this is why compatibility, it can be so confusing. Two people can love each other deeply, like they can have incredible chemistry. They can laugh together, have great sex, raise beautiful children, build a home, and share 20 years of memories, and still discover that when life gets difficult, the values governing how they participate in relationship are fundamentally different. But can those things change? Can these things change? Absolutely. Values can evolve. Priorities can change. We can recognize that some of what we've been calling our values are actually old protective strategies, inherited beliefs, or ways we learned to survive. But none of that changes if we refuse to look at it. We have to be willing to name what's actually happening, talk about it honestly, and accept that it's there before we decide whether we want to change it. We have to see it there, right? Because you cannot change what you're still defending. You can't change what you're still defending yourself against seeing. Like, so before you decide that you and your partner need to communicate better, get curious about something deeper. When things get hard, what does each of us protect? And are we both willing to look honestly at the answer? Because that conversation might tell you more about the future of your relationship than another communication technique ever could or will. You may not have a communication problem.